While the youngest of the boys worked side by side with his father in the fields, his two older brothers whiled away their time loafing on the banks of the river.
You know, if we'd have kept that stray pussycat, we'd both have something to play with anyway.
Yeah, we could both take turns trying to toss him across the river. Let's go catch him.
Nah, it'd be too much like work.
What is it, Michael? What are you mumbling about?
I think I just found a new friend, Papa, and I would like to keep him. Look, he comes right to me and he's not even afraid.
All right, son, all right.
Thanks, Papa. Hey! What's wrong? Papa, what is it? Doctor said he wouldn't have died if he just had more help in the fields. I tried, and I'll miss him.
If anyone should have grieved or felt some sense of guilt, it was Michael's older brothers. But they, it seems, were too busy celebrating their good fortune, for their father had left them the farm and the mill. And young Michael was left with no choice but to set off on his own with nothing but a stray cat and a loaf of bread to his name.
I know you must be hungry. I'll share. Huh? I don't believe my eyes. You're eating like a human being does.
Yep.
Huh? I don't believe it.
Relax. Believe me, I'm very real.
Then I'm not dreaming? But, well, friend, I'll have to take your word for it.
I don't believe this.
What'll become of us now, Pussycat?
Well, Michael.
Yeah?
I have a special plan. I am going to make you a very rich as well as famous young man, Michael. You'll see.
Make me famous?
But of course, because you deserve it. Now wait here. I'll be right back.
This can't be. I must have died, went to the great pond beyond, and just don't know it yet.
Well, what do you think?
You look, but where,
Never mind. Puss in Boots is about to make your fortune.
I was right. I am dreaming.
And so Puss in Boots, as he was to be known from that day forth, set out to begin the first step of his plan. He snared a rabbit, quickly tied it in a sack, and then made his way to the palace of the king.
State your business.
I have a present here for His Majesty.
All right, let him pass.
Thank you.
You have a gift in there from the Marquis?
That's right.
Who is this Marquis, and what has he brought us?
He is the Marquis of Carabas, my lady, and he's asked me to bring you this as a small token of his loyalty.
Ah. Well, please send our thanks.
And my regards as well.
But Puss in Boots had greater things in mind for his master, the Marquis of Carabas, than just a word of thanks. He continued to bring the king these offerings until one day...
A magnificent catch. Your master is truly the most thoughtful subject in my entire realm, and most loyal. I would very much like to meet your master, the Marquis of Carabas. Will you see to it?
Most definitely, my lord.
His hard work was finally paying off. Puss in Boots had given the king directions which would lead his carriage past the river where Michael was waiting. He watched patiently for the king to leave, and then raced ahead to give Michael instructions for the next step of his master plan.
Michael, now do exactly as I tell you. There's no time to lose.
Meanwhile, the king's carriage was drawing nearer.
Now get in the water and pretend you're drowning. Go on!
Now the king was almost at the river.
I don't have time to explain every detail. Please, just do what I say and trust me.
Help, save me!
I'll have to get rid of these rags.
Help! Help! Somebody help me!
Now for the next part of the plan.
Somebody, please!
Halt! Halt the carriage!
Why, it's Puss in Boots.
Oh, your majesty, a terrible thing. Robbers have waylaid my master and thrown him in the river to drown.
The Marquis cannot swim?
No, sire.
Save the Marquis.
Yes,
This
sire.
way.
Help! Help me, help!
Thank heaven you're safe, master. And thank you, your majesty. Just one more favor, sire. My master's clothes have been stolen. If your coachman would lend him his outer garments until we reached my master's castle, I would be eternally grateful.
Thank you, Your Majesty. I feel much better now.
What a handsome figure of a young man you are. Very handsome indeed. Wouldn't you agree, my dear? Hmm? Well, why don't we be off now? I'm looking forward to my visit with you, young man.
A visit, Your Majesty?
We have been looking forward to this visit, Your Majesty.
We have?
The robbery, no doubt, has badly affected your memory. But you'll be all right. Now, if it please my lord, I have a few affairs I must put in order.
By all means. You're fortunate to have such a fine servant. Well then, young man, the royal carriage awaits.
Now Puss in Boots had the almost impossible task of claiming the land and castle belonging to the evil ogre. This part of his plan would not be easy.
Now, would you all agree to do a favor for me if in return I promise to get rid of that dreaded evil ogre once and for all?
We'd do just about anything to get rid of him.
But what's the favor?
In just a minute, His Majesty will pass by on this very road. Should he ask who your master is, tell him that it's the Marquis of Carabas who owns all of this land and that you all work for him.
Yeah, but what if the ogre hears that?
He won't. You have my solemn word on it. He will never bother you again if you grant me this one request. But I need your answer right this very minute. Will you help as I've asked?
You can count on us. Is there anything else we can do?
No, that's enough.
And now there was but one final step remaining. Puss in Boots would have to meet the dreaded ogre face to face.
Your time has come, Mr. Ogre, whether you're ready or not.
Who is the master of this land that you are working?
Sire, this land belongs to the Marquis of Carabas.
The Marquis? Certainly not all of it.
Every acre of it, Your Majesty, as far as the eye can see.
Oh, that is most impressive. How would a young man like you have acquired so much land?
Well, mostly, it was luck.
Such modesty. What a find you'd be for a young lady. Hmm?
Oh.
Ah! Stop the carriage. Whoa! Is your master the Marquis of Carabas?
Yes, Majesty. He owns all of the land for as far as one is able to see. And beyond, so I'm told.
I'm becoming envious the more I behold.
Now Puss in Boots had reached the gate of the ogre's castle. He was about to confront the evil creature on his own ground. And as he had expected, his welcome was about as friendly as the surroundings.
You have no business in here.
I have heard you have magical powers, so I wanted to come and see for myself.
Why waste my valuable time?
Because I believe the only power you have is the power to frighten people. That is why they bring you their offerings of game and livestock. Because you're big and ugly, and they are afraid of your threats. But unless you show me your magic and prove to me you can change forms, I will tell everyone you're nothing but a big fake.
Then why don't I just simply kill you right now?
Not very smart. If I don't return with any proof of your power, they've been told to assume you have none.
All right, so be it. You will have your proof. Is this real enough, kitty?
Oh, yes. But I think a mouse or something a little smaller would actually be a much greater test of your powers, don't you?
Oh, is that right? You like a mouse? I'll give you a stupid mouse.
Ah, that's more like it. Now, come right over here to me. Come on.
Oh, you want a closer look? Okay. See, I told ya!
Yes, you did. And that's the last you'll ever tell anyone. The last you'll ever frighten or terrorize or hurt anyone ever again.
The curse of the evil ogre had been lifted, and suddenly, as if by magic, the entire castle was transformed back to its original beauty, and none too soon.
Welcome, Majesty, to Carabas Castle. In the name of the Marquis of Carabas, I beseech you to accept our humble hospitality.
Though it appears not to be so humble, Puss in Boots, as it does lavish and extravagant.
This castle belongs to the ogre. Are you out of your mind?
Shh, Michael, it belongs to you now.
Oh.
The ogre is no more, and in fact, it is now the residence of the Marquis of Carabas.
Oh.
I propose a toast to the Marquis of Carabas.
Here.
Your Majesty.
The Marquis of Carabas.
And to his king.
And now, my son, my daughter has persuaded me that you should be named heir apparent. That, of course, would presume a marriage between the two of you.
I'd like that very much.
Well, then ask her.
All right. My princess, will you marry me? Mm-hmm. She will marry me!
And so their wedding was announced, and they became man and wife, prince and princess, the future king and queen of the realm. Puss in Boots had fulfilled his promise. The king had his heir apparent, and Michael and the princess had each other. This son of a poor miller, this daughter of a king, and this stray cat in boots made a strange threesome as they presented themselves to the adoring peasants who had finally been set free from the tyranny of the evil ogre. Thanks to their new regent of the rodents, minister of magic, keeper of the cream, the obliterator of the ogre, and knight of the whiskers himself, Sir Puss and Boots.